This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
Welcome into Gentlemen, Boys and Girls, children of all ages. This is the Fast Break Podcast, episode 1 of 2.
What up?
Today, we have this episode that's going to be the Wet Boy of the Year / playoff predictions. And then also, you got to go check out our Mock Draft 4.0 episode that we're doing. So this is a crazy Fast Break day.
So much basketball.
I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Alongside me, as always, is Ricky Widmer.
What's up, guys?
And Dave Oster.
Hey, everybody.
And I kind of ran through it. We're going to be giving our Wet Boys for the final week of the NBA. Then we're going to be giving our Wet Boy of the Year in the same segment on YouTube. It's going to be all in the same podcast on iTunes, Blog Talk Radio, and Stitcher. And then we are going to get into our 2018 NBA playoff predictions. But before we do that, go check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. We've had an influx of new patrons.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we are going to have a stacked May, apparently, with the way this is looking. So if you do want to be a part of the fun, go over to patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. Next week, I think we're going to have 2 patrons on, Will and Jake, right? Or is Will going to be a different day? Or is it's Pat?
It's Patrick and
Jake.
Jake are going to be on 420.
Yeah, and then 427 is going to be Will. So
Nice.
we're going to see the debut of Will on the podcast and on any of our podcasts.
And the debut
on the 27th.
of Patrick on the Fast Break. He's
Yeah,
been on the
but-
PTP,
yeah.
but on the Fast Break.
I'm saying,
Yeah.
Will's, this is his debut.
For
This is a
Yeah.
transfer
I
for
gotcha,
Pat.
I gotcha.
Also, check out mostvaluablepodcast.com if you want to find our shirts, if you want to find all of our blogs, all of our podcasts in one nice, easy place. Check out mostvaluablepodcast.com. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. What else am I forgetting? Don't forget to rate us on
iTunes.
Yes.
iTunes. There it is. Final
5
one.
stars.
Go give us 5 stars on iTunes, whether it's Fast Break Podcast, the Onside Kick, the Primetime Podcast, the Rick and Johnny Podcast, or the brand new podcast, The Outcast, with Buzz and Juice.
Juice Man?
Boys, let's get into it. Wet Boy of the Year. We're talking soggy shooters. We're talking dampest of dudes. We are talking moist men. These are the players that absolutely went off in the past week, that had unbelievable performances, that had absolutely ridiculous stat lines, and we're talking about them in this segment. Ricky Widmer, who is your final regular season Wet Boy?
My final regular season Wet Boy is Russell Westbrook. And it's not just because he averaged a triple-double, but he did this week average a triple-double.
And this year.
35 field goal percentage, 30 from three-point. But another thing I wanted to bring up, and this is just a question I had for you guys with my Wet Boy, I never thought about this until this week I was listening to The Herd, and he mentioned it. Why last year seemed like everyone was like, oh, Russ is the MVP. We've never seen someone average a triple-double, blah, 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 blah.
He brought this up last week, I think.
know, but like for me, I was thinking about it this week because I never thought
Nobody
about
listens to
it.
me. It's okay.
But then,
What? But Dave literally made you think about it last week.
no, but I didn't think about it as
But he
much
didn't
as I
actually
did
think. He
this
just
week.
acknowledged
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Well,
This
he's waiting
time
to talk
I-
about his thing.
This time I actually
Jesus.
thought about it, like why last year were we all impressed with the triple-double and he's in the MVP race? He's doing it a second year, yet he's not going to win the MVP and he's not even in the discussion of top 3.
The sequel is always worse than the prequel, and also, I mean, the thing is, not the original. The sequel is always worse, and it's nothing that Brody had a worse season. It's just you thought the expectations were higher
His points per
too.
game were a little down, but you're going to
But
get
that's-
that when you add Melo and Paul George.
But you also thought there was higher expectations for the team,
Okay.
Exactly.
and the
It's that
team
combo.
The team didn't do as well as they should have. So it's like Russ was bringing that team with a triple-double. It was insane. He was doing something that we've never
He
seen
can
before.
drag a G League team into the playoffs on his own. But the thing that nobody thinks about this year was the loss of Andre Roberson being out for the majority of the season. How much of a just defensive player of the year, perennial candidate that he is, being out there, and Melo just absolutely looking like he just doesn't give a fuck.
No more Enos as well.
Enos gone as well. I mean, it was a different team. The expectations, like Sean said, were higher. I agree. I think you nailed it. It's 2 years in a row. Nobody cares anymore. It's old news. And different team.
Well, and there was also the argument last year that even though he was averaging a triple-double, he still wasn't the best player in the NBA. We still kept bringing up that LeBron James is the best player in the NBA. We looked at Kawhi Leonard and what he was doing. He was super valuable to his team.
But he was the most valuable to the Thunder last year.
But he was the most valuable to the Thunder, and then
Yeah.
also he did something that we never saw before.
And I'll tell you what, the other reason
that I never saw before, because I wasn't born in 1970.
the other reason is because there was a race. It was because there was 2 guys involved. It was James Harden and him. It was the Sosa McGuire of the NBA. And who cares when Barry Bonds popped off for
Except
83?
with no steroids.
72.
That's what I'm saying. So whatever. I mean, we're just making up numbers at this point because it doesn't matter.
It was,
steroids.
it was 73.
Yeah. So when he popped off for 73, nobody cared because at that point it was just him. It was boring. It was old news. That's what this is to Russ.
I just like the one thing that I was thinking about this week is how many people are like, oh my God, we've never seen this. But have we ever seen it done twice in a row?
No.
That someone's averaged triple doubles back to back.
This is
it still should be like, holy crap, we've never seen this
But
before.
also, look at the stat line. I think you already put up, but go look back at the stat sheet that we just put up there. 17, 15, 14. He pat-statted to get there.
He pat-statted?
He is.
He pat-statted.
That was the joke. That was the joke last year,
here's
too.
the deal: is you know what? If it's so easy, why isn't anybody else doing this?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not trying to take away what he did. What he did was super impressive. I'm just saying for MVP.
Yeah,
like that's why. Like I don't think he deserves it.
Why haven't actually triple doubles are good?
And also, I mean, everyone's doing it.
Last year we were told they were amazing.
Markelle Fultz is doing it off the bench.
Did it off the bench and is the youngest, stole that from Lonzo, player to ever hit a triple-double.
There you go. Dave, give us your wet boy.
My wet boy is the embodiment of a trebuchet, is Nikola Mirotic. The man is stroking threes all day, shooting 45% from three. He's put up 26 a game, 13 boards, 2 assists, 52 from the field, but again, 45 from three. And it's not like small volume.
He also shaved.
He did shave.
The
It
beard.
looks weird.
A little bit, yeah.
I also shaved in honor of Nikola
Coincidence.
Mirotic. No, I did it for my boy Nico. But I think the trebuchet line might be stolen from a guy we're going to talk about later, Mo Bamba. That guy is a true trebuchet where he's like throwing it from behind the head.
That is just his own
Also,
problem.
I think Manute Bolt used to do that too.
Yes.
The whole trebuchet. But yeah, Nico absolutely popped off. And let's get into my new wet boy, because Russ was actually a first-time wet boy.
Which is shocking to me.
Well, it's
I
our
thought
fault.
Dave,
Respect.
I thought
It's
Dave
our segment, so it's our fucking fault.
With how much Dave was all about the triple-double last year, I thought you would have given him once this year.
I mean, every week there was somebody special, and he's been consistently great. But
Plus, I mean,
he never stood out.
LeBron became LeBron.
I think we also talked about him a couple times, or
Yeah.
like put him in
We did have
honorable
segments.
mentions, but
Yep.
we never did it. But another new wet boy, Dylan Brooks, on the same level as Russell Westbrook, really.
Clearly.
22 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, 5 assists per game, shooting 46% from the field, 35% from three. Giving some love to the Memphis Grizzlies because last week, I forget the commenter's name, and I feel bad right now, but he said he's leaving and now no longer watching us because we're consistently trashing the Memphis Grizzlies. So
He's a wet boy now.
We apologize for that. Now you got a wet boy, so congratulations. And we love Memphis fans. We just don't.
We
love the
disagree with
franchise.
some organizational decisions.
Yes.
I think that they did Fizdale dirty, and I am with my boy Fizz over the Memphis Grizzlies.
But now, it is the time that we've all been waiting for, at least since last week when we made this idea up. We are now giving out the Wet Boy of the Year, and I'm going to run out through every single person and how many times they've gotten a Wet Boy. Starting out first, Russell Westbrook, Dylan Brooks, LaMarcus Aldridge, Trey Burke, Karl Anthony Towns, Julius Randle, Jarius Lyles, Taurean Prince, Lonzo Ball, Tobias Harris, Nikola Jokic, Stanley Johnson, Dwight Howard, Jamal Murray, Kevin Durant, Gerald Green, Isaiah Thomas, Vince Carter, J.J. Redick, Michael Beasley, Kyle Kuzma, Drew Holiday, where else? Don Mitch, Klay Thompson, DeMarcus Cousins, Aaron Gordon, Pat Bev, and the Phoenix Suns
There you
are
go.
all one-time wet boys.
It's not
what
on
a
the counter.
collection
It's not
of
on the
names.
counter, though.
It's a fucking thing. You weren't on the podcast.
It's not on the counter.
Okay, now you're not even on the. Now you're
They
not
made
on
a
the podcast.
thumbnail.
You're not on the
They
podcast.
made a discussion.
Yeah, they are a wet boy. Go check it out when it was Dave and I in front of the green screen. But those were the one-time wet boys. Now getting into the two-time club, we have Pat Beverly. Right? No.
No.
Nikola
Nico.
Mirotic.
Yeah, there you go.
Victor Oladipo. Kemba Walker. DeMar DeRozan. Even though DeMar spelled wrong. Devin Booker, Steph Curry, Andre Drummond,
Spelled
Damian
Damar.
Lillard, Damar, Lauri Markkanen, Lou Williams, Ben Simmons, and Giannis Antetokounmpo are in the two-time Wet Boy Club.
Learned
Then-
his lesson. Didn't even try to spell Giannis's last name.
Nope.
And now, in the three-time Wet Boy, we are in the top 5. Kristaps Porzingis.
No,
at
Kristaps
2.
is a 2.
No, god damn it. So Kristaps also in the 2. I don't know how to read. I'm a terrible angle
Sean, we
for
got to
this.
color code this for you.
Now, finally, in the top 5, Kristaps is technically in the top 5 still.
Yeah, he is, but he's 2-time.
Kristaps, 2-time Wet Boy. Now into the 3-time Wet Boy, into the top 5. Joel Embiid with 3 Wet Boys. James Harden with 3. AD at number 2 with 4 Wet Boys. And finally, the king of Wet Boys and of the NBA for the past 15 years, LeBron James with 6 Wet Boys. Those are the Wet Boy nominees. That's how many times they've been named a Wet Boy. Those have been the honorees. We bestowed the honors of Wet Boys to LeBron
Yeah,
James and all those
they've
players.
gotten how many Wet Boy honors
6
they've
or
had.
1 time. But the Wet Boy of the Year is LeBron James. A magnificent year, but not going to be the MVP. So,
Nope.
Even though you're not getting...
He gets one trophy at least.
Number
from us,
3. I think he's 3 MVPs, 4 MVPs, something like that. You're not going to get another MVP trophy, but you're getting the first ever Wet Boy of the Year. So congrats, LeBron James.
Yep.
Big fan of the podcast. Any thoughts on the Wet boys? Any adjustments we should make?
The only thing
besides
is
me learning how to read.
I did look up, and it was Jordan Lee was the Grizzly fan.
Jordan
I
Lee.
looked up his name for you.
Shout out to Jordan. My bad.
We also need to come up with a trophy for the Wet Boy of the Year to give to LeBron James.
What would be the trophy?
I mean, that amazing clip art sun, or the clip art basketball.
Flaming
We just make that as like the actual part of the trophy.
Yeah.
I was just thinking a giant dick. Like just a giant
Maybe
penis.
let's open up to the suggestions from the commenters.
Okay. So
Also,
we have
you were right. He's a 4-time MVP.
4-time MVP.
Jesus.
So instead of getting your 5th MVP, you get the first ever Wet Boy. Should LeBron James be sent a trophy of a penis to his house or to a clip art of a basketball? It could be any of them, really.
Could be something else.
Or what you guys come up in your head.
Yes. So let us know in the comments what should be on top of the Wet Boy trophy. Any person you want to throw out there that we might not have given an honoree to. We gave one to Jarius Lyles.
The only thing that I was thinking is just where would Kristaps have been if he didn't get injured? How high? Like, I know he's 5 at 2.
I mean,
but how many? Like, could he have crawled up? Could he have?
It's the same with Boogie too, and then it's also with Anthony Davis. If Boogie didn't get injured, where would AD be?
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. In this past month, we could have given AD like 3 of them.
We could have given it every single week
like
to LeBron James.
You and me could have done AD and just tied him up to LeBron James just to spite, and he deserved it. But it's just been one of those weird years.
I just think it's hilarious that in the same breath, I said Kevin Durant's name and then Vince Carter's name.
But I mean, we honored 44 different NBA players, and that's the thing that's cool.
45 because one was a team.
Phoenix Suns.
No, I'm sorry, 43 NBA players, 1 college player, and then the whole fucking team.
Thank you. So that's the point of Wet Boys. We're sharing the love because Player of the Week is so exclusive in the NBA, and I feel like it's always so rigid. We're here to have fun, spread some love out to these guys because they all deserve it. 43 NBA players, 1 team, and 1 college player.
And where would Pat Bev be? If Pat Bev didn't dig down Lonzo Ball in the first game, he might not have been a Wet Boy. And he wouldn't have had the chance because he got injured.
I forgot that's why he got Wet Boy.
That was incredible.
Destroyed him.
I totally forgot that's why he got the Wet Boy this year.
It's the best way to open the year.
It was. And now we're closing it off with Dylan Brooks, Russell Westbrook, who's averaging a triple-double back-to-back years, and, of course, Nikola Mirotic.
Nikola.
Who, at the beginning of the year, got punched in the face.
I mean,
hell yeah.
What a cap it.
Yeah. So that's going to wrap it up for Wet Boys.